Hello everyone, welcome back to another Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and as always, thank you so much for supporting past couple videos and the channel as a whole. I truly do appreciate it. Now let's get right into this matchup. Today we have a special one for you. We have another matchup from the Call to Arms tournament that is hosted by EGC. This is in the group stages between Beasty in the yellow playing as the Delhi Sultanate, and across the way we have MYI Zerton playing as the Abbasid in the green. I will leave EGC's Twitch in the description below, so you can check them out. I will also leave Beasty and Zerton's links below. Beasty needs no introduction, of course, is a top player and is going to be fighting and contending to the very last rounds of this tournament. And across the way, we have Zerton, who I've had the pleasure of casting a few times in the past. Seems to be pretty aggressive, does have a pretty unique style of play, so it's always fun to watch him play. Now, in this matchup, the Delhi Sultanate is not picked a ton, but it is very good on very certain maps. This is one of them, very specifically land maps, kind of like Dry Arabia, Prairie, Lipany, those types of things. The Delhi can be very good into those, and Abbasid is being picked across every single group stage. It is one of the most picked civilizations, because I think it's very balanced. It's very, very good at a lot of different things. So the smaller, it's just one of those things where it's a very balanced civ. It can go aggressive early, like we could see an early military wing. It can also go pretty much late game and get those few TCs down. Almost always you see 2 coming out of it. But enough of me rambling. Let's get into those stats. The Abbasid sit at a 49.4% win rate across 247 games, and that is across just Conqueror and above. And then across all leagues, Abbasid sits at a 52.9% win rate across about 2.8 thousand games. Now that is probably because Delhi is a little bit of a harder civ to play. The timings are a little bit harder and you have to manage a lot more. So that's probably just why an Abbasid is generally easier to play. So I'm not shocked by those kind of stats. And of course, as I mentioned, the pros only play Delhi on certain maps. I'm sure if you're Delhi main in Platinum and below, you don't really look at the maps all that often, which is also might be explaining as to why the Abbasid have a slightly lower win rate in Conqueror and above, because Delhi comes across them on maps that they're actually good at. Now, we do see a tower victory. Before I get into that, a little shout out for myself. We are so close. We just passed 900. If we can get up to 1,000, that would be absolutely electric. So if you could leave a like on this video and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. Also, please come check out my Discord. 2 of you have joined. Really appreciate that. Would love to get up to 10. We'll shout all of you out once we get up to the 10 mark. It will have notifications and everything like that of when I go live on Twitch, when I drop a new YouTube video, some great discussions. You can ask me questions and stuff like that in there. So please do join in the link below. Now, Tower Victory is an interesting choice. We have been seeing Dome of Faith a lot out of Delhi players because it has been buffed quite significantly. A lot of prelates going on. But Tower Victory is the standard, the old standard. It means we're going to be seeing some aggression out of Beasty, which, we do love to see that. We also see Military Wing coming out. I would not be surprised to see Zerton's just trying to survive at this point. So that early military wings get that early military aggression, but you do not want to lose those 4 units. You get 2 archers and 2 spearmen. You do not want to lose those if at all possible. And if you can, either use them to defend your stone and stuff like that, which we do have. We already started to get that. So BC does. BC's going to see that when he runs a scout past there. But we're already getting stone, so we're going to be going that second TC for Abbasid. There's a few different spots you could drop it. You could drop it over here on this large deer pack, or back here on this deer pack in berries. I would probably drop it back here because of the double food source, and Abbasid does run out of food quite quickly. And remember, across the way we have those Ghazi raiders that could be coming in, which are very, very mobile and can take down a town center if they get enough of a mass. So we'll have to wait and see. Tower Victory is definitely going to be a little bit aggressive, so I'm waiting to see what BC decides to drop first. It will be in the surrounding area of this, so it gets that. There it is. There's the first one. We have the stable, so it does have the influence. So we're going to be seeing some early Ghazi raiders coming out. Now, Zerton is moving out across the map with these early military units, so we have to wait and see if he gets any damage done. We do have some precariously perched berries up front, and the Delhi player also can run out varies quite easily. But also look at all those sheep that Beasty is bringing home, so he'll be able to have nice, safe food as he gets out his first couple units. And there is the first Ghazi Raider coming out, and honestly, at this point, Beasty knows that Zerton's dropping this, right? He saw the stone already, and it's pretty much the Abbasid's kind of normal play. We see no more units coming out for the Abbasid player, and we see just Ghazi Raiders coming out for Beasty. Beasty, once he cleans up these 2 spears, it's going to be pretty easy to deal with. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a archery range coming down quite soon, as well as remember the Tower of Victory gives you 20% attack speed. So those Delhi archers, which is why they're so good into the English early on as well, they absolutely cook. Now, it's nothing compared to Abbasid in Castle Age, if they get that composite bows. So BC now sees this over here. It's not going to get any damage done, but at least we'll know exactly where that is going to be happening and where he needs to attack. With these raiders, is going to get a few little chip shots over here, but that TC is nice in range and can pepper those things down. Here comes the little squad that popped out early on for Zerton to get some map control. So he can be able to catch a few of these, some nice poke damage there onto that Ghazi Raider. But now there's 5 on the map. 5, if they all group up on this, can absolutely clap this little force, and there we go. We're going to be seeing that. Beasty's probably going to be having some nice old micro, and they're focusing down the spears because he knows full well once those go down, not much can be done to these. With the spears actually, he actually focused on an archer accidentally. It's probably because it was a stealth force, but there we go. That goes down, and that's going to be everything gone. And we can see Zerton is now making his own horseman, which I don't know. I don't know if I love that. I mean, so there's pros and cons, right? The pros to making your own horseman in this situation is that you're going to be having the flexibility of having that movement that Beasty has with his army. The downside is that they're going to be worse than Ghazi Raiders. So every time that there's an engage, the Ghazi Raiders will win that engagement every single time. And with the Tower of Victory, they'll have even more of an advantage with that 20% attack speed. Now, Zerton did go military wing, so can get that early boot camp if needed, but that's infantry. And there is the classic composite bows, which everyone gets in Castle Age. So if this does go late game, Zerton could be in a very, very good position. But I don't think Beasty's going to let it go late game. He's either going to lose going all in, or he's going to have such good map control and so much value out of this early aggression with these 2 sacred sites that I think he will be sitting in a very good spot for late game. So if Zerton can survive and can keep these sacred sites from being captured, he will be in a good spot. As you can see, more horsemen are coming out, but it's going to be really, really tough for him with this much production. And here comes 6 archers onto the map, which can cause a lot of damage. As you can see, these deers, unfortunately for Zerton, are pretty far away. This one is insane. I mean, this deer just did not want to be harvested, but did eventually go down. This scholar's going to be totally fine because he's got a squad behind him that can protect him. So there is the first sacred site taken. The next one will be taken right over here. And BC is continuing to produce Ghazi Raiders. This is looking pretty good for him if he can start to do some damage on the map or take that 3rd sacred site. Right? I mean, at this point, Zerton is just kind of sitting in base. He's not collecting any gold at the current moment because it is pretty far away. Here comes the squadron out, just as I say that to make that comment. They are moving out to collect some gold to possibly go up to Castle Age. If it gets into Castle Age with those composite bows, Zerton will be in a nice spot. But as I mentioned before, if BC can do some damage with this early map aggression and pressure with this army, he will be sitting in a very good spot. Zerton is responding in tow with some spearmen and a lot of horsemen. That is a good thing if there's going to be a dive going on or something like that. I will say it does get 1 Ghazi Raider down there, which is always nice. But BC can really put on the pressure with this larger army. He can easily take out this over here. Zerton is starting to produce some archers. He knows he needs those. BC is opting not to go in for any spearmen at the current moment just yet. Just constant, just horsemen, Ghazi Raiders, and those archers, which he will win the battle as long as he kites and micros properly. And this is Beasty in a tournament we're talking about, so I think that those can be probably be pretty safe and pretty safe to secure that it's going to be happening. There's a third sacred site going down. So this is actually huge for Delhi. They did get a nerf. They're not getting nearly as much gold as you would normally get as they did on the last patch, but not too bad in the slightest for that passive gold production. Now, as we can see, Beasty is starting to get up a massive force, has 20 archers on the way, and they are decapping this over here. So as I mentioned before, this is one of the perks of going for this types of force. They can be mobile, which is super, super important into this kind of army. But Beasty's going to start to dive and start to do some serious damage over here. And these archers, the second they get some vision, they're going to be absolutely cooking all this. And that is a lot of villagers going down. That being said, Zerton is in the lead by a fair margin due to the sheer number of due to that extra TC. But with this going in here, Zerton has no wood production. That's why he's trying to hold on to it so much. And as you can see, Beasty is kiting back and picking off all of these spearmen. And he does have a critical mass of archers that allows him to one-shot them, which is absolutely brutal for Zerton and excellent for Beasty. He does have a lot of Ghazi Raiders out on the map at the current moment, but not a ton in this little cluster. He has 14, but he only has 9 over here. So this should be enough to clean this up. There's no spearmen left. There's only 1 over here, and Beasty is now focusing down the DPS, which is those archers. At the current moment, the Delhi Sultanate archers have a superior attack speed to these over here. As you can see, their attack speed is 1.37, and over here we have... Oh, my bad. Did I mess it up? I must have messed it up. But he also does have... They both have +1, but those Ghazi Raiders really impacted that over there. So it looks like the attack speed for the Delhi, but maybe that's not accounting for the extra speed that it got over there. So there we go. Yeah, so it's accounted for in the major one. But look at how quickly that all goes down. Sorry, trying to do quick math during a engage is never the best. But Beasty comes out on a very vast superior on top and still has those sacred sites. So has all 3 going in. He has 19 archers at the current moment and 10 Ghazi Raiders. Let's check back at home. He is going all in for this kind of push. He wants to do even more damage, and there we see the siege engineering coming up, which means that BC is going fully in on this. He's looking for raids at this point, and there he's going to get some value over here. Zerton is trying to get up some outposts to protect this gold over here so he can go up to Castle Age. But at the current moment, he doesn't have that much food. He did lose a lot of villagers that last engage 7, and he's going to lose even more. He has absolutely no wood going on over here. They just moved over here, which I will say, yes, he did move over here, which is now protected by this tower. One, this is a little bit more susceptible. It's farther away from the TC. So as you can see over here, they're starting to span out, and BC is going to get even more value. 10 villagers have gone down, and BC is going to move in because he knows that he can just take this out, and no worries at all. These Ghazi Raiders can fully die this tower. And the more he's killing over here, it's just a slaughter. The villagers are actually getting involved in providing a front line for these archers, and that is the last thing you want. 18, 19, 20 are going down, and so much value here for Beasty. Beasty has the same amount of villagers, same amount of villagers as the Abbasid, and the Abbasid's on 2 TCs. And Beasty has 3 sacred sites for this entire moment as well. This is absolutely brutal, and there's still archers here, and they're still killing units. 24 go down in this engage, and that whole time is completely nullified at this point. All that economic advantage that they had with that extra TC completely gone, and so much idle time has been caused. Beasty's still just hanging out, farming away, and just constantly raiding, being super annoying. But at this point, Zerton now is back to where he was, so that extra TC is not providing any extra additional resources until he ramps up. BC is currently in the lead for villagers and production. BC has a Tower of Victory, which provides a steroid for this early on, so the Abbasid don't get their steroid until Castle Age with their archers. And on top of that, BC now has a ram coming in, which is going to be able to take out this tower over here and possibly take out this wood line, which will leave him have to go all the way back over here, and BC can just keep going back and forth and completely get him out of wood, and no wood means no constant archer production, and that is why you can see the discrepancy over here. Here comes the ram. It's coming in yet again, and Beasty is moving in. You can see all the yellow dots moving across the map. Interesting to see if he waits or if he's just going to send this ram in. It looks like he's just send this ram in. just to try and get even more value. They know that what Beasty's going to go for. He's going to be going for even more villager kills. One more goes down. Gazi Raiders might be going down in the trade, but 1-for-1 trade is always worth it. Gazi Raiders does not make it out with his life, but that Sacred Site victory is still going down. We have +1 coming in for his Gazi Raiders, and even more idle time is caused to create a brand new lumber mill, and now even more. Look at just this. He has no wood, nothing to produce and nothing to counter this. Zertan has finally matched the archer count. But at this point, Beasty is now going for Castle Age because of how much passive gold he's been getting from these sacred sites, which is absolutely insane. And now Beasty is going in yet again, focusing down these spears because he knows that once he gets these Gazi Raiders in on the rest of his army, he's going to come out on top for sure. Some unfortunate micro there for Zertan. The villagers have been pulled. At this point, though, Gazi Raiders are in onto these archer mass, and that's going to be going down quite quickly. There's 13 of them out, and they're going to be absolutely destroying this. The villagers are actually getting involved, which is not what you want to do. 28 have gone down at this point, and this is looking like a beastie W. The second that Castle Age pops, I would not be surprised to see Zertan GG out of this game. This is the power of an aggressive Delhi player. If you make early units, if you're going to go for something like the Tower of Victory, make it worth it. And there's GG's. So well played by Beasty. Well played by Zertan. He tried his absolute best, but Beasty really put on the pressure. And those two forward wood lines did not help him out in the slightest. GG's to both players. Guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. We're so close to 1,000. I appreciate all of you, and have a great night.